You know, we used to have a shortage of content long ago. Today, we're drowning in it. As a matter of fact, there's so much that it gets ignored. So how do you, with your content, stand out, and how do you get people to choose you? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you 4 ways that you can stand out and make sure that you're staying authentic and real, human, hey, there's a concept today, and reach the right people at the right time with something that they actually care about. Hi, I'm Terry Brock with Stark Raving Entrepreneurs. We're going to talk about this. We do this regularly with people, show them how to use it and where you can do it. So in this video, we're going to talk about that, but it's quite different than I remember it was when I was growing up. We had 3 TV stations. Okay, now I'm dating myself here. We had ABC, CBS, NBC. These were the 3, and that was really all that was out there. And I remember many evenings, we would sit around as a family, we'd look at what's available, and we'd say to each other, get this, well, there's nothing on TV tonight. Okay, yeah, right. Okay, well, obviously there was something to watch. There was something out there, but nothing that we wanted. However, there was a good one coming up next Thursday at 8 p.m. So we would wait till next Thursday at 8 p.m. Okay, anyone relate to that? And those of you that are in Gen Z or Gen X, you wonder what it is. Well, this is the way it was. But today, we got a different problem. Because right now there is all kinds of information. We've got all kinds of things that you could do. Back then, content was scarce. The distribution was scarce. And the choices were pretty scarce. But today, we've got exactly the opposite problem. And that makes a problem for you and me. Because today, holy smoke, we've got so much we can't consume it all. Gina and I sit down in the evening. Sometimes we want to do some extra study and some business work, watching videos on YouTube and see what's there. And you know what? There are so many of them, we can't watch them all, even if we stay up all night. So no longer is the problem, there's nothing good on. Oh, yeah, right. The problem is, here's the issue you and I are dealing with. There's so much good stuff, we can't possibly watch it all. And that's a radically different marketplace. Because now there's access that people have to it very easily, to YouTube, to podcast, to Substack, great little tool that we're using now, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and on and on and on. Not to mention all the books and library material, newsletters, and good stuff that's out there. I'm not talking about the stuff that's not good. I'm talking about it's there. So the problem isn't that there's no good content. The problem is there's so much good that we can't process it all. The new competition for you, well, it's an important realization. Your competition is not bad content. Used to be, not anymore. Your competition is the good content, really good, that your audience doesn't have time to consume yours. So it's different. And then that means someone necessarily is going to skip your video because your video is not that bad. It's just, hey, it's something else they want to do it. There's 37,000 others. I'm only slightly exaggerating here. Others that are out there that are available. So you can't just be pretty good. It's got to be good. But I'm going to show you a way that you can do that and how you can really care for people and help them being real. You see, AI is not the enemy. We might think, oh, there's so much out there, AI is coming at this and that. That is not the enemy. I want you to look at this, that AI is not destroying everything. No, not at all. Quite the contrary. I love the tools that we have. I'm using tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok. We talk about this in our Stark Raving Entrepreneurs program. Show people exactly how to use them and how to use which tool at what time to get the right effect. We talk about it being a creative conductor. That's what you want to be. Think of the conductor in an orchestra. That person doesn't necessarily have to be the best on every instrument. Matter of fact, they're usually not. They might be real good on 1 or maybe 2 or something like that. But what you do is you pick and choose. So now you get to choose between Claude. Do we use ChatGPT? Do we use Gemini Notebook? Used to be Notebook LM. And whatever helps you. But now you get that to do the research for you. The brainstorming. Hey, I love that when I can sit down, just doing it this morning, going, what do you think about this and that? Yeah, but what about this? And I use a lot of yeah, but what about questions. That helps us because then the AI can summarize. It can organize it a little bit and it can go back and edit. And then here's a real nice thing it can do. It can repurpose for you. It can also help us to generate our ideas, find the patterns that are out there and see what's going on. I've been using it in some creative ways just yesterday, figuring out ways I can make better videos for you. So there's a lot you can do on that. And I'm going to show you in just a moment here how you can produce that and make sure that you go from content scarcity to the attention scarcity that's out there. How to deal with that, because that's the issue. It's not content that we don't have, it's attention. And you want to get that. So how can you make enough? A new question is not why should anybody choose mine, but it's like in the midst of all that, why are they going to look at me? Why are they going to use me? Where will relationship marketing come to focus here? How can we use that? And really, that's the whole key. It's building relationships, not just a larger group to say, oh, I want to get more views, want to get more views. I mean, how 2020 of you? Instead, it's reaching the right people. They're going to buy you. And they're going to do that because of the trust that you communicate, the perspective that you have, the judgment that you have, the experience. Hey, that experience you have from that experience you did 10 years ago when you did this and you learned, hey, I'm not going to do that again. Or that person you dealt with, you thought, ooh, she did that. I knew it was coming, but okay, don't deal with people like her again. You get that idea. Now you can communicate that. And that's something that not everybody can do. And here's the real key. Once again, it's about relationships, building those relationships. And that's how we do the marketing. So I'm going to show you what you want to do. And it's 4 steps that I was telling you about. You want to care. That's C-A-R-E. And what do I mean by that? Well, the C stands for connect to real pain. You want to start with where people are, what they actually care about, not what you think is dandy, but what they care about. Not that I would ever do that. No, I would never create a video that I think is dandy and the rest of the world doesn't like. Yeah, right, Terry. Okay. Yeah, I had that problem. But now what it's going to be that they're looking for, and this is where AI comes in. It can give you the research for you. So it's not just simply what's going to make a cute video that I like. No. It's not going to be what can AI generate. But what you want to do is you want to ask people, what is bothering them? Where is their pain? What are they struggling with? What are they worried about? What's confusing them and costing them money? And then what you want to do is find out what you can do to help them in a way that others can't. That is where the good content starts. People don't want to wake up thinking, boy, I sure hope that Terry Brock publishes a video today, as much as I would like that. But they don't, realistically. And your audience isn't sitting there going, gee, I sure hope he produces a good video. I hope she comes up with this. Well, no, they got their own problems. But here's where you come in. You want to wake up, how can I help them? What can I do to use AI effectively to find out what the heck is going on out there that's causing it, and how can I use that? This is how it's going to work. I want to build those relationships with people by helping them. And here's the real key. What you want to do, you want to find the pain. Be someone who's going out deliberately going, where are they hurting? Where are they hurting? And then you help. And when someone thinks, okay, that's exactly what I'm dealing with, when they watch your video, when they listen to your audio, when they read your text, then you know you have earned it. And you got to talk to actual human beings. There's a concept as well. Not just use AI, as good as it is, get out there in the real world. Talk to people. I love doing virtual, but there's a lot to be said for when you get out in the flesh, going to regular meetings. Gina and I will often regularly go out to meetings for people here in Orlando where we live. We also just got back from a convention with the National Speakers Association out in Austin this year. We were out there finding out what real people say when you sit down to find out, here's what's really going on. And here's a revolutionary idea. Talk to the people and listen. Listen to what they have to say. That is important. You want to ask them, okay, what are you struggling with today? And then find out what's getting in the way and stopping them. Listen to the conversations that they have. And then online, read the comments. Read the emails. Not just what you think it is, but what they want. Ask questions. That's a key. I often see people that really blow it when I go places. All they want to do is talk about themselves. They have what I call eye trouble. And I don't mean the letter E-Y-E, I mean the letter I. Yeah, the letter I did this, I did that, I'm doing this thing. Have you met those kind of people? Yeah, I did too. They must hang around. But what you want to do is you want to go beyond that. Search with the tools, use AI research, and talk to them as well. It's not either or, it's both and. And then make sure that you have that one human being talking with another human being. So that's how you're going to care for people. The C is for that. A is for add your perspective. You want to add your ideas, what AI has given you. You also think about what you're caring about and where you have. What do you disagree with? What do you agree with? That's important. By the way, as a content creator, one thing you've been reading my videos, watching the videos, and reading the email and the Substack messages we send out, I'll often take a quote. I give the quote and then I say, here's where I agree with it. Here's where I might disagree a little bit. This is what you can do. Don't just say, here's the quote, but say, I like this because of this. And what do you think about what others are saying? And maybe, what are they overlooking? What's being exaggerated? Look at that as well. And what is being misunderstood? And find out what people are doing. If you see something that surprises you when you're reading, talk about that. See, what you're doing is you're giving your attention to that. You're helping them with that. You're finding out what it is that you can add to it that they didn't have, that wasn't coming from anyone else. What you've got? Your judgment, your taste, your worldview, and your conclusions, the things that are happening to you and what's going on. Mainly, you're sharing your humanity. And the R is reveal real experience. Tell the stories that you have, what you've gone through. You remember that seminar you went to last March where the person was saying some really good things. She was really good on that. Well, that's what you want to talk about. You want to get in there and do that. Tell us what actually happened. Tell us about that client conversation you had the other day. Maybe it was on a Zoom call or maybe it was in audio. Tell us about the mistakes you made and what surprised you. Tell us what you learned during all of that for the years. That's what Gina and I are doing. Matter of fact, we often will do that when we're watching YouTube, watching those videos, studying in the evening so we can get material for what we're going to talk about. We get something. Oh, and then, by the way, we grab our smartphones and then we say, okay, such and such is true and da-da-da-da-da, because guess what? We're probably not going to remember it in the morning once we've done it at night. So I'd encourage you to do that. Watch the videos. YouTube is particularly good for that. And then you put it in there. See, so you want to have that and make sure that you've got that is going to help them. You want to have the experience, your experience as proprietary data. That's something not everybody knows. Now you can do it. Nobody else has a combination of your stories, your relationships, the mistakes you made, and sometimes that's the best. Take those, use them, and then make sure that you're helping people with that. And don't polish out that human experience. Let that be there. This is something we don't have with AI. We've all seen the AI videos on YouTube. And yeah, we understand when it's AI, when they're like this and they're talking like a robot and saying these words in this way. And you go, yeah. But sometimes it's still got a good message. So what you want to do is take that message and you-ize it. That's what I like to say. You want to you-ize it. Make it your feeling, your thoughts, your experiences. If your name is Bob, you want to Bob-ize it. If you're Jim, you want to Jim-ize it. If you're Sally, you'll Sally-ize it. I'm Terry, so I want to Terry-ize it and put it in there that way. That's the key. I want to put an exclamation mark behind what I said there. Don't polish out the human experience, who you are and what you have done. See, there's a whole lot of things that are happening with that. AI can create things that are almost unnaturally polished. Really good stuff, beautiful graphics, perfect grammar, smooth narration. Here are 7 tips for da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, and that's good, but it can be kind of boring. And also we kind of wonder, is that real or not? And we want authenticity. We want things to be authentic. You see, perfect is becoming cheap. Yeah, perfect becoming cheap. But the human element is what's becoming increasingly more needed, more interesting, more necessary, if I can say that. It doesn't mean that you're producing sloppy garbage, though. That doesn't mean you're going to put something out there and that you're going to just try to polish it up or, as we often would say, fix it in post. Well, sometimes you have to, but don't try to make that the way to do it. Be human. Be alive. Laugh where it's appropriate. Show the concern when you're sad about something. And that way is going to be really important. Tell us that weird story that you bumped into that you had to figure out how to solve that. Well, add that and tell us your perspective on it. And make the occasional corny joke if you want to. Okay, you can do that. I do that all the time. Gina even puts up with my humor sometimes. I mean, she's a wonderful lady to put up with that. But you see, people don't look for perfection in relationships. They look for authenticity. That's what you want to go for in your video. And finally, the E in the care word, E, engage in relationship. This is where your idea really translates to business. You don't merely just publish something and then post something else, and instead, what you want to do, you want to engage. We've heard that thing before about the know, like, and trust. People know about you, then they like you, and they say, hey, I like what she does on video, it's really good, and then they grow to trust you. That's what relationships are about. And it doesn't mean everything has to be perfect 100%. No, I don't do that even here on the video. You'll catch little whoops and things like that. We're a human being, as long as it's not sloppy, as long as it's not unprofessional. So what you want to do is you want to get in there and you want to ask the questions, read the comments, continue conversations in a variety of ways. And you want to stay in touch with people. Several ways to do that. Of course, text is one way. It's real fast and accepted. Email, sometimes even better. Sometimes using a Loom video. I like to do that and create a video where you're sending something back. Often in the coaching that I'll do, people will say, Terry, I've got 3 questions over this. Here's 1, 2, and 3. What I'll do is I'll use Loom and I go on screen. They see their question. I say, oh, your question was number 1, da, 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 da. Then I go back to me on screen and say, here's what you can do. Look at this, this, and this. Number 2, way back to number 2 on the screen. Loom and other tools give you that kind of ability as well. I'd recommend that. So what you want to do is you want to reach out. Reach out to people, notice them, introduce people. One of the things Gina and I often like doing is having people come over to some of the parties that we throw, and this person meets that person, and they work together, and they see some things happen. They come back to us 6 months later and say, hey, we work together now, and we've done this project. It's really successful. We're doing well, and we met right here. Well, that's what you want to be, that connector who you can remember about people, what's going on, and help them. You see, content really is not just the endpoint you're putting out there. When you're doing that content, you're creating it for your videos, you're doing that with the parties, etc. That's not just, that is really the beginning. That's not the end of the game, because you're really opening a relationship. People see it and they go, oh, okay, I like what she does. I like that video about such and such. I learned this. And they see that, oh, he had some really good points on that topic. I wanted to listen to him again. So this is where you make that contact, and then it leads to speaking engagements. As a professional speaker myself, I speak a lot to groups, showing them, here's specifically how you solve this problem. Here's what you can do. Here's what you do to make it work. I do that in my coaching, showing people specifically how to solve that. Got a few clients right now that I'm working with, helping them specifics on putting together a book, putting together new ads that they're going to use, and their content that they're creating so they can send it out on their YouTube channel, etc., and do that. This is the way that it works. See, the way that it is viewed on video is one thing, but what you want is you want to build that relationship. That really is part of the content. And it may be one of the deeper areas of this whole video. Matter of fact, in an age of unlimited content, your content all over the place, your relationship with the audience becomes a part of that content, and it's critical. When you think about that, when someone watches a video and they go, oh, I like what Gina did here. Oh, I like Terry. I mean, if you want to, you can do that in the comments below. We know that. Or I know how they think. I followed them for years. Those kind of things are really important. See, they can use all the different tools, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. These are really good. But what they cannot duplicate is the accumulated relationship that someone has with you. All those other videos out there, they don't have the you-ness of you. So you want to make sure you're using that. And also, one very important point I want to make here, use AI as an amplifier, not as an identity. Make sure that AI is something that takes what you've got, and we're not going to abandon it. We're not going to throw it away. We're going to do the opposite. We'll use it. We're going to use it aggressively where it gives you leverage. I like to say you want to leverage the daylights out of AI. Make sure you're doing that. You'll use it for, well, let's see, a number of things like research. We do that a lot with our clients. Did that recently with a client, was a big gaming company, and they needed some help on things on a massive scale. We did research, and they came back and said, how did you know about that? Are you sure of that? And they said, we checked you out and you were right. And I thought, yes, of course. The research we did, we go beyond just the basics of it. But AI lets us do that. It also helps us with brainstorming. Like I was mentioning, I do a lot of that where I go back and forth with ChatGPT, with Gemini, with Grok, saying, yeah, but what about this? And what about, oh, have you thought of, oh, that's a good point. But then we could do this maybe. And then what do you think about that? as if you had a real good, trusted advisor right there with you. So you want to do all of that. And some things you're not going to outsource. You're not going to outsource your judgment. You're not going to outsource the curiosity you have where you're going, well, maybe this, maybe that. The perspective that you have. When you look at it and you're saying, okay, what's there? The relationships you have, the people that you've met. When you bump into somebody, you see them, you want that. But you're going to put AI backstage. So AI is backstage and the human, you, on stage. Think of it like a theater. I remember when I was in undergrad school and in high school, I was in drama, and I loved doing that. It gave you a chance to really connect with people, to learn how to do that and how to communicate. So when you're standing on the stage and you're giving your lines, you've got to communicate. Well, when you're using video, when you're using speaking in front of people, when you're talking to people, just regularly talking, you want to communicate. So backstage, we got the AI. It's doing its thing. It's doing the research, which does it faster and better than you and me. It does the material. I let it create my rough drafts, and then I Terryize it, putting Terry, me, my influence and ideas into it. And that's what we do. So we're using both of those. We're putting all those together, using your judgment, your stories, your values, and all of that. And see yourself as the creative conductor. That's who you are. You think of the conductor in an orchestra. She is out there playing different instruments herself from time to time. Maybe she did that for a while, but now she is directing the others and helping them to come out the best when it is there. So this way, you're going to be able to put it together. You're going to be able to make it work by looking at which tool is right for which moment, which should be louder, which should be softer here. Which should we not have right there? They just kind of take a break right here. Well, this is where ChatGPT can help you on that. Gemini can help you on that. I love Grok. Grok gives us a lot of ideas, and not everybody's using it. That gives you a little bit of an advantage when not everybody is using that. So you'll use this. But you as the creative conductor, pull all of this together. And it's not how many tools you can have. I mean, the nerd in me likes to say that, to go, oh, look at all this. I got this tool and that one and that one. You want to find, I recommend 2 to 3 good AI tools that you can use, because one of them might not be working at that time, or the other one might not have just what you need, but have those and put them together to serve people. And then all of that music, to use my orchestra metaphor there, is built around helping that audience. Help the audience that you're looking at to get what they need done, to accomplish that and to take care of that. So, in sum, here's what you want to do. Number 1, connect to the real pain. Find out what's going on and fall in love to study that pain to come up with ideas. Number 2, add your perspective. What is it that you're doing? How you're looking at it? What's going to be done there? And what you think could be the best. And then reveal your real experience. What did you do in the real world? Do something. Show us what happened when you talked to someone. Even last week, you talked to someone, you tried this and it worked. That is golden. You want that. You're going to use AI as the amplifier. AI then takes all of that and it amplifies it, kind of like what I'm doing right here. I record this video, then I put it on YouTube and the various social media platforms. Substack is one we really like, using a lot right now. That's really good. So in closing, your question is not, can I create enough? Well, today it's more, why should anybody pay attention to what I'm doing? So you see, we're not anti-AI. We're not against AI, far from it. We're using it, but we're using it in the right way. And this is what you want to do. So we're looking forward to hearing from you. Let us know what you think about it. Leave a comment here. And matter of fact, we've got another video coming up here that's going to help you to understand a lot of that, how it fits together and what it can do. Please leave a comment. And if you haven't already, please join us here on the platform we're using so that we can help you in many ways. I'm Terry Brock, and on behalf of Gina Carr and our Stark Raving entrepreneurs, we wish you the very best and look forward to hearing from you.